And with the power of 3 ancients, we have turned Enga back on. No introduction from Grandpa this time. We're just going to unofficial chapter 12, Alex Roivas, Guardian of Light. That's what I'm calling the chapter, unofficially. Now, we already saw from Michael's chapter when we finished it that the observatory had a bunch of light shining into it now. So we just have to go here and go to the end of this hallway to pick up where we were. Yes, the story beat, it's knocking. Come on in. Now that we have the light, we have the crankshaft from the basement safe. And we just follow what Michael did in his chapter. Play the... come on. There we go. Play the reflection game. And voila. Just like that, we opened the super creepy vault door in the basement. I'm sure it'll be fine. Let's go. What's that? A sanity effect? No. Why, that's really happening. Someone or something was here. Okay, that for sure was sanity, though. I did not hit the attack button, and my finger was nowhere near it. A package wrapped in brown paper has been left inside the door. A parcel wrapped in plain brown paper. It's not addressed to anyone and appears to have been wrapped in a hurry. There might be something inside. The essence of Chaturga. And the enchanted gladius. Remember, Michael saw this and he couldn't use it because it can only be wielded by the destined owner, the Guardian of Light. Hey, guess who we are? The Guardian of Light, baby. So yeah, it is a gladius that has a permanent 7-point dominant spell attached to it. How did I take damage? That must have happened in the previous chapter, or, you know, like the previous time I was Alex. And it doesn't heal you between chapters. Well, I can fix that. There we go. Let's top up our health. Ow, what are you complaining about, Alex? You're the Guardian of Light and you have a really cool sword. With the lid removed, some kind of well-like entranceway is revealed. The ladder leads down into the murky darkness. Was this Edward's route into the Guardian City? Should I climb down the ladder? Oh, heck yeah, you know we should. Alex can't climb this ladder because the shaft above has been sealed, perhaps by Maximilian Roivas all those years ago. So yeah, Maximilian came to Enga and had a mental breakdown. Your grandpa came to Enga and killed everybody in the city. Now it's Alex's turn to come to Enga. As the tome had suggested by Edward's and Maximilian's words, the city exists and is far more incredible than Alex had thought. Here are the ruins of Enga, the corpse city, parasitized by guardians of Ulyaoth. 9 great towers dwarf the surrounding buildings. It appears these towers serve as some kind of focusing array, channeling great tides of energy into the city itself. Yeah. When Grandpa was here, he just did a dispel magic and it killed everyone inside the city. Actually, it didn't just do that. It kind of wrecked the place, too. Like, it was just dispel magic, not magic attack. And besides killing everyone, it kind of... I mean, well, look at it. Like, it didn't exactly blow the city apart, but it did some damage. It was a very strong spell. Who would have guessed that a 9-point array the size of an entire city would have that sort of strength? Now, if you didn't catch it, for just a split second, you could see some runes by that door. And I already show you, like, so I'm not gonna run down there and be like, oh no! It's kind of a trap because, you know, like a trick, a troll, if you will, where, like, you've seen this floor before in the Forbidden City where you run across it and it hurts you. But yeah, you get to the end of the thing, you're like, okay, well, I'll cast my shield spell and run across this thing, and oh, look at us, we're so strong, we're avoiding all this stuff. And then you get to the end, and it's like, haha, doorway's blocked. Alright, let me out of here. Ah, we remember this place. Okay, so yeah, there's these things. These plinths look like the ones Pious had encountered in the Forbidden City, where he found the essences of the ancients. This podium is heavily damaged, crumbling into rubble and dust. If it's to be used, it must be somehow restored to its former state. Well, we can perform our very first magic trick that we ever did. And pick up some things and enchant the item. Hooray! I remember our very first spell. We did it. Oh, let's cast a spell, enchant item. Oh, we could have just used a level 3. I enchanted the hell out of that thing. Like, this thing is fixed. Do you really need to use a 7-point spell on this? No, but I guess I did, so it ain't going nowhere now. Oh yeah, so anyways, these plinths, when Edward came in here, he's like, well, these look familiar, and then just continued on. Alex, however, is the Guardian of Light. You know, it says, this looks like where the essences of the ancients were. Well, guess what we have? Again, it doesn't matter where you put them, it's a triangle. Each point is just as important as the others. Now, we don't have the Ulyaoth essence because Pious has that, but we do have the essence of Mantarok. And with the power of 3 ancients, we have turned Enga back on. Come on, I know how this works. Just activate already. Thank you. Ah, hello, trappers. Look, I might be the Guardian of Light with a really cool sword, but, like, I can shoot someone now and then, too. Alex isn't, you know, above using a revolver now and then. That said, I will put this back on. Bomb. Oh, that's one Paragon. Now, this might look a little familiar. Coming along, you're like, oh no, the floor's gone. There's just a bunch of hot coals. What am I gonna do? The floor's not gone. We know the drill by now. It was there the whole time. Now, what you might notice, that doesn't have an energy thing. Because your grandpa flipped all these switches and no one ever flipped them back, because, you know, there's only monsters here, no more residents, you don't have to go to these. You can't do anything with the switches. They're already flipped, the doors are open. Also, wow, you look tiny in this. Like, I realize it's just because, you know, the room is like a big-ass room, but like, for a second I thought I was getting the Sanity effect where you shrink into the floor. But no, it's just a gigantic-ass room. Okay. Really big doorway. We need more of this. Come on, out of my way, damage floor. You know what, let's keep things symmetrical. Let's go do this one next. Engage the array. Running over here, gonna get another Paragon. Look, you know, it's like the saying, you can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs. You can't cast a 9-point spell without inscribing a few Paragons. It's just the saying, everyone knows it. I almost feel bad for these guys. It's like the horror support group, the post-Enga destruction support group. I was there when the city fell. I survived. It hasn't been the same since. Oh, would you like to tell us more about that? I know there's not many of us left, and oh my goodness! I don't know. Am I being too flippant about these horrors killing each other? Maybe. Or maybe I'm not being flippant enough. Flop. Also, we've seen her finishing move before, but just to remind you. I like that it's kind of a combination of the confident and the freaked out, because like it's not exactly like, say, Pious or Anthony, who like know how to use a sword, where they're like, wah, stab. Oh, I see you over there. But it's not exactly like, you know, the people that are just like whack, whack, whack with the stuff either. Like, it's like, yeah, she stabs him twice to be sure, but she does have that cool little like flourish and like jab down. Oh, I heard a trapper in there. Well, sucks to be you, trapper. I mean, just like when your grandpa was here, there's a lot of running around. Although, at least as Alex, you don't get out of breath as fast as he does. You're a bit more healthier. Actually, for that matter, when I'm not on this floor. If you look, Alex, she is kind of stacked stat-wise. Like, she's got a hell of a lot of sanity, a hell of a lot of magic, and, like, her health is decent. Like, you know, it's not as high as, like, Pious or Michael, you know, someone who's, like, really fit. But she's no slouch either. Like, you know, she's got the stats of the Guardian of Light. All right, now I'm going to skip this one for now. We're going to get a couple more Paragons in here. Because, you know, we want our delicious Paragons set up. Num 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 Parg. It's like me going to the grocery store. It's like, yeah, there's some other stuff to get, but I have to get, like, lots and lots of cookies, because I'm a badass. Well, when it's like that with a 9-point spell, like, yeah, there's some other components, but, like, just more Paragons. Keep throwing them in the cart. More. They're on sale. Get some more of them. Oh, yeah, this part. So we were here. When we were here as Grandpa Go, we, you know, flipped the switch over here, and then the guys busted out of their, like, museum glass, and we're like, monsters, whoa. Well, now the city is like, look, your grandpa stole our people from, or, you know, our displays from us. You gotta put them back. All right, fine. Grandpa killed the people in your zoo, so I gotta give you some more animals. I do find it's kind of fun. I like it. Just, you know, that you're opposite of what your grandpa did in this case of, you know, because he's like, go through, solve all these puzzles, and now, at least for this one, it's like you have to unsolve the puzzle. I just find it, I don't know if cute's the right word, but fun. A cute mechanic, I guess I'll say. Also interesting, I won't be able to see it super well, but I can, you know, brighten it up for you watching this on YouTube later. Like, what is that? Like, what is that thing back there? And, like, there's another one over here. Yeah, this guy, like, these monsters never appear elsewhere in the game. They're just, like, behind the glass right here. Ugh, fine, I need more juice. Well, I'll run around and so it's like, are these monsters that were around at the time? Are those, like, original citizens of Enga? I don't know. The game never tells you. They never show up elsewhere. It is what it is. How about now? not done a I thought we had summoned a horror. I don't know why it's giving us that. Well, I don't know. Maybe we never did. Thank you for your donation to the Enga Public Museum. You may leave now. Thanks, museum. I'll be doing that. You know what I really should do? Ooh, can we actually get there with only 2 shields? Yeah, we can, just barely. What I should do, actually, like, yeah, I've been keeping my sanity low to see if I get any more sanity effects, but... well, I'll wait till I have it. I'm gonna just cast magic, the Mantarok magic pool. Because, like, it'll give us infinite stamina for running, and it will just keep refilling our magic. So, oh, hi. Well, I don't know. I guess I'll get some magic now. Yeah, that one. Again, like, yeah, if we had lower sanity, maybe we'd get some sanity effects, and, like, that'd be cool, but in the sake of this is a really big place that requires a lot of running around, I just feel like Mantarok Pool is gonna be the best. Because, like, unlike your grandpa, who could just use, you know, the Chakurga magic pool for infinite stamina, because we have to keep casting shield every time we go into that game. Like, we need a lot of magic and infinite stamina, so I'll use Mantarok thing. You know, we won't have low sanity, but whatever. We're the Guardian of Light. We're fine. We don't need sanity effects. Oh, hey, speaking of sanity effects, never mind. You get this one first. Womp. Now, if you recall, when we came here as Grandpa, this happened to him, and he's just like, and just drank some from his flask of booze and then was fine. You, on the other hand, don't have alcohol at your disposal, so, like, what are you supposed to do? This actually is sort of one of the, I don't know, I guess esoteric puzzles. Like, it doesn't tell you what you need to do. Luckily, I know, so we won't be here for hours on end, but... The first point of business is you have to have full sanity to get out of that. The second point of business is what it doesn't tell you, and you never really had to do at all during the game, is you have to go very slowly. You have to sneak your way across. It's like Metal Gear Solid. This is a sneaking mission. Which is kind of dumb, because there's nothing in this room that indicates that that's what you have to do. Because, like, if you're just running like normal, you go across it, and the guy appears, and you're like, well, what am I supposed... You need to try, like, reveal invisible, or, you know, if you have the Mantarok rune, like, make yourself invisible. It's just... It is the one puzzle where I'm like, eh... Just, you know, like... You only have so many moving parts, so, like, on the other hand, like, there's not too much you can try, so you won't necessarily be stuck there forever, but the fact that the game doesn't highlight it at all for you, that A, the way to get out of this is full sanity, and B, that the way to avoid it is sneaking, which you never really had to do, because, like, oh, you can sneak by trappers, but you don't even necessarily want to, so you might forget that's even a thing. But, you know, whatever, we're at the end of the game. All right, they want to throw in, like, one crazy puzzle. Thankfully, we know the answer, because I played the game before. Yes. Magic stones, like the vampire had, for infinite energy. And now we're locked in here. What possibly could we do with them? I forget if I have to get close or not. I guess I'll get close just to be sure. Now, we can't reach that far, but you know what can? Magic attack. What am I by? Red? I think I'm by red.
Enter card Requiem, card Ulyaoth, card.
So yeah, okay, it does reach the whole room. But yeah, you shoot the thing, and the other ones are just like, whatever. But, you know, the red one is gone now. Oh, what the? Wait, what? It destroyed all of them? Okay, I didn't remember. I thought you had to, like, do one of each spell. Maybe it's because Ulyaoth is the dominant enemy? And I mean, I guess it's been a while since I played the game, but I thought you had to do a 7-point spell of each color for them. I guess the answer is no, you just magic attack the plinth and they die. Alright, sure. Do I have to kill the trappers? No, but I want to. Can't reach it. Well, let's use that new sneaking technology that we just remembered about, because we had to. There you go. Oh, come on! Shut up. I mean, it's not like we need the revolver ammo for anything. It's not like we need anything else except the Gladius at this point. Like, yeah, we have a shotgun, but we have an enchanted Gladius. It's destined for our hand and our hand alone. Like, that's kind of the more important weapon. Alright, let's get infinite running. And it will fill our magic more. Oh no, we're gonna get hit. Whatever, I don't care. Ow. Are we done with our Paragons yet? No, we got one more to go. One more Paragon, and then we can get to the meat of the spell. Hi, I see you. You know, because I can. Sneak, sneak, sneak. Shotgun. It is kind of too bad that we don't have more enemies to fight, because that's pretty good, you know, bang, chunk, reload, you know. She ain't wasting no time with these guys. Hi. They went away. Where could they have gone? Well, you know, thankfully, we know how to fix that. And just like that, they're back. And just like that, they die. All right. Hey, you know, there's one left. I'm actually kind of curious about something. I don't know that I've ever tried this, but if I do something like this. Will the trapper kill itself transporting this zombie away? I don't know. I don't know that I've ever, because like, why would you summon like a zombie or horror to go after a trapper? Like, you have guns, like, it's fine. They only take one shot. But now I'm curious, just for the sake of... No, they don't. Because they don't see you as a threat, because you're not moving fast enough, I guess. I'm trying. Is there a way for me to stop the spell? I don't remember. Yeah, there we go. Alright, whatever. Yeah, now there's that guy, too. Well, you know what, that guy? Sit down. Finish him off with a shotgun. Well, that was our fun little distraction for the day. Let's keep going. Hero, we're okay with this, I guess. All right, now I think we're done with our... Yeah, we are. So, we have all our paragons. Last time we did dispel magic to kill all the creatures here. Do you have any idea what spell we might be casting this time? Your grandpa already told you, if you remember, a cutscene where he specifically told you what you needed to do. Do you remember? Now, item. No. I don't think it's gonna be that. Self. No, I don't think it's gonna be that. Area. Maybe. But how about creature? Because if you remember what your grandpa said, is that, like, you do not have the power to fight Pious. He is stronger than you are at this. He's had more time to prepare. He's had more time to practice. He is better than you at this. So how do you fight Pious then? And the answer is, well, if you can't beat him yourself, maybe you send in someone who can. Like, I don't need to go to the font. I just wanted to blow that guy up with a teleportation. Telefrag! I still hear one. I don't need to kill you, but it's the principle of the thing. Now, what I'm not sure is why you can't reload the revolver while moving. Like, it makes you stop to reload. Like, yeah, sure, the shotgun maybe, like, putting the shells in, but, like, the bullets are small. You can do that moving. Okay, we've got ourselves a creature. How about we get ourselves... Where is it? Where's Tyr? There it is. How about a summon? Because nothing seems like a good idea like using the City of Enga to use a 9-point spell to summon creature. Nothing bad could happen at all. I don't know what you're worried about. Oh yeah, this room. Well, first of all, I need more shield. Second of all, there was a trapper in here. Where are you, trapper? Out here, then. What's gone then? Ah, there it is. It's gone. And then whomp, immediately hits me. Oh, look, who's back? You almost tricked me. Turn them into chunky little gibs. Hi, you. If I finish you, will you just stay gone this time? Not that I'm coming back, but, you know. Not intentionally, anyway. Granted, I wasn't intending to come back that time. I was intending to go shoot the guy, because I'm like, oh yeah, there's a trapper here. Just on principle, I want to kill it. And then it's like, well, shut up, I'm gonna hit you, that's what. almost there. One little bit left. Well, if we're fighting Ulyaoth and its champion, we know what Ulyaoth doesn't like. All right, one more backtrack. One final place to go. All right, we've got a Mantarok magic pool, 7-point Mantarok shield spell. Everything is full. Let's make a save, just to be safe. All right, time for the fight of the century. A fight 2,000 years in the making. The Guardian of Alex versus Ulyaoth's Lich Pious. Oh, nice that it lets you. It's like, hey, do you want to save before you step in here?
Ah, Miss Roivus, you're just in time. The summoning spell I began 2,000 years ago is finally complete. You will now have the honor of becoming the first morsel for my lord, Ulyaoth. An appetizer for the banquet your race shall provide.
You forget what it means to be human, Pious. The human race will never go quietly into the darkness. For as long as you have spent summoning your lord, people have struggled against you. Now, thanks to their efforts, I have 3 of the Ancient's essences. Now, Pious, this is the end!
The end indeed.
And here we go. Also, good boss music. Now, unfortunately, what he's gonna do is that he does a 7-point Mantarok spell, dispels whatever you have at the start. But here's sort of how this fight goes. You have to hit him, which makes the artifact of Ulyaoth appear. And then that happens. Yeah, so while the ancients are out in space having their little rumble, you're here having a throwdown with Pious. And actually, here, I'll show you why the Enchanted Gladius is just so important, and why I say it's the most powerful thing, and you need it. Because if you just use, say, a regular Gladius, you're like, Pious. Yeah, he's a 2,000-year-old magic ancient-powered lich. He is not affected by regular weapons. A regular sword isn't going to do shit against him. And that is why the Enchanted Gladius is so strong and so useful. It's because it means during the fight, you don't have to stop to keep enchanting. Because yeah, otherwise it's like, up, your enchantment wore out, cast it again. Up, your enchantment wore out, cast it again. Up, you know, repeat. With this enchanted Gladius, you always have a weapon that can hurt him. So that is why it is so important and strong to get. Because it makes the last fight a lot more doable. Here's one thing I also like, and you're like, wait, what is going on? Why are we here now? Yeah, because one thing I love about this is that all the people that Pious has been messing with, they're like, oh, you came and fucked with me? Well, guess what? We're here to hit you back, Pious. You might have messed with us before, but... So I just like that, you know, it's everyone who's, you know, been adversely affected and being involved in the Ancients gets to, you know, come and get a hit on them. Yeah, that's what happens if you, Ooh, I need to actually get some healing going on. Let's get this first. Nope. Let's see. Now, I don't think he dispels stuff right away, so I should be able to do this. So we can get some sanity and health back. I also do like that, you know, it does the first thing with Elia being like, oh, you're hitting the thing and summoning the people from, you know, the tomes, statues, but then afterwards it just instant does it, so it doesn't, you know, it doesn't overstay its welcome. I like that their cutscene is also like, it's very slow compared to like your fight against Pious, but on the other hand, presumably they are like using magic, you know, that would blow apart worlds. And so it's like, oh, what a little tiny wiener fight going on up there, except, you know. Oh, alrighty then. Maximilian gets a free hit. Ow. Well, fine. I'll hit you. What do you think about it? Oh. Hey, remember me, Pious? We actually talked face to face. Ugh. Run. Yeah, and the artifact is kind of sparking and sizzling as you keep hitting it. Roberto, I know you can't really run, but do your best. Uh-oh, lost your essence. Got your head. Alright, now... actually, while he's doing that... Right. Yeah. I have an enchanted Gladius. This is not gonna end well for you. Oh, you think the camera's gonna save you? Also, I like, you know, because yes, he's a 2,000-year-old lich, but he is still based on a human. And as you are, you know, kicking his ass, he starts doing the, like, limping as he gets hurt. Yeah, looking a little beat down here, Pious.
The darkness is not so easily destroyed. No, my death is just the beginning.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
What have I done?
Quickly, Alex! We must find this creature! It cannot be allowed to remain in this universe!
Also, here's just a funny thing. I know which one I'm supposed to do, but if you're like, absorb.
Good heavens, no. Not that one.
No, not that one.
Nor that one either. Come on, Edward. It hasn't been that long since you researched this stuff.
Come on, I haven't been dead that long.
It's the squiggly circle thing.
Yeah. It's the squiggly circle thing. Oh, I just like that, you know, as you pick the wrong things, the game is like, no, stop. No, stop it.
Ah, that's the ticket. It is finally over, my dear. The Ancients' plans are finished. For now, at least. You have proved to be an incredibly courageous young woman. Your mother and father would have been proud of you, just as I am. I'm sorry it had to be like this. It's not quite the inheritance I had in mind for you, but there was so little time, and so much to do. Goodbye, Alex. I will miss you.
As I gazed up at the ancient I had brought into this world to stop Pious, my mistake was made clear. This ancient could lay the world to ruin just as easily as Pious's would have. And yet, as quickly as it began, it ended. To think that once I could not see beyond the veil of reality, to see those who dwell behind. I was once a fool.
Quite literal bookends to the start and end of the game. I couldn't see what was beyond. I was a fool. A little bit differently this time, being said, but I do like bookends while you close the book. Anyway, while it starts doing the credits here, I've got a little bit of trivia stuff for you to go over. Oh, you've overcome the darkness that's prevailed for over 2 millennia. This accomplishment will begin a new era for humanity. Would you like to record this grand occasion in the pages of human history? Nah. Not really. It wasn't that important. In memory of Ben Dyack. I don't know if that's Dennis's either his dad or his grandpa or what, but I mean, you'll see in the credits just a second. The producer and director, Dennis Dyack, so I don't know, but rest in peace, Ben. But while this is doing the credits, I do have one more scene for you. Or maybe a couple if I can find, if I can find some fights between the Ancients. Because there is a bonus ending. For the few times that you ever saw me, use the save screen, or, saw it in the recording, at least, you'll notice that there's, on the save box, is whoop, and then in the corner, there's the little Ulyaoth symbol, because that's what we chose. Well, now that we saved the game, having beaten it, we could start a new game, but pick this save data to load, and then it adds, a Chaturga and a Xel'lotath symbol to it, as you're doing the things. Because once you play, I mean, it's the same game, just, there's slight differences. If you pick, there's no new game plus, as it were. It's just, the difference of picking a different ancient. But if you beat all 3 ancient paths, you get a bonus scene. And I will show that to you after we do this trivia and the credits and all that stuff. And at first I thought, I could try going through the game another 2 times, because then I could record all the tiny little scenes of Pious talking with his respective ancient, because it is interesting just the differences between them all. But I'm between vacation and recovering from being sick, that's kind of a lot of work, so I'm just gonna show you the end scene and maybe the ancient fights at the end if I can find a recording of that somewhere. And you'll miss out on a little bit, but you can see Maximilian's other his autopsy reports for the different type of, because we got the Ulyaoth zombie, the Ulyaoth trapper, stuff like that. You can see the Chaturga, the Xel'lotath. So you can do that, and then the cutscenes play out a little differently. And it's kind of fun just because as Ulyaoth is I'm so smart and wise and blah, 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 blah. And I said he's sort of the least creepy of them all. So it's kind of fun to see Chaturga is, very blah, 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 but it's also really stupid, and Pious is always the one with the plan, as opposed to Ulyaoth is here is my grand plan and you will follow it, Pious, for you are my minion. Whereas Pious is hey, Chaturga, sir, don't you think it might be a good idea if we do this? And then I think I might have said it with the Xel'lotath's one, but what I was mentioning, there's just the differences between them. Stuff with the Charlemagne, Xel'lotath sort of has this dark sense of humor that I find amusing. It's oh, we have to do something about Charlemagne. It's we could kill him, or make him insane, or one then the other. So that's sort of amusing, but I'm not gonna do all that, sorry. I'm sure you can find those online if you want to see all the little differences and stuff. But that can all wait, for the scene of the Ancients fighting, and the bonus scene we'll do after the trivia and after the credits. So let's get to some trivia while these credits roll. First off, one of the things that I've wanted to talk about, this one isn't a trivia, this is something I wanted to talk about, and I've been holding my tongue the whole time because I didn't want to spoil it, is one of the things I love about Eternal Darkness is it has the best designed jump scare in all of gaming history. Hands down, for sure. It's not the scariest, but it is the best. And that is the bathtub scene. Now, I talked about when I'm oh, you've seen the notorious bathtub scene. I think that's all I said about it. When you go into the bathroom for the first time, when you can fix the key, you get in there, and then the bathroom, you're oh, looking around, then you see the bathtub, and Alex screams as she sees her own dead body in the pool of blood. And again, it's notorious because it's really the only jump scare in the game, and people are wow, and get surprised by it. But that is so well designed because they make use of 2 facts to really just mess with your head, and it's done so well. The first reason I like it so much is they don't do it right away, right? It's after Anthony's chapter, so the 3rd chapter. I mean, because you have Pious, you have Elia, then you have Anthony, so you don't get it for a while. So you're used to the setup of the game of let's go in here. Oh, let's examine this clock. Okay, it tells us about the clock. Let's examine these cupboards. Okay, it says this. Let's examine this painting. And you're used to the setup of you look at something, it tells you about it. You look at something, you open a drawer, take an item. And so you get into this comfortable, like, all right, here's how the game operates. And then you get to this bathroom, and you hit examine, and it goes, bah, in your face, and scares you, and you're like, wah, you know. The second thing that's so great about this, though, is that they never do it again, ever. Which makes it one of the most effective jump scares of the whole game. Because, again, you know, this isn't like, say, like, you know, some new game where there's, like, super gory in your face. You know, this isn't like Mortuary Assistant or something like that. But, you know, especially for the time, like, you know, that was a scary jump scare at the time of this stuff. Because you think about, like, you know, old, like, Resident Evil 1 and 2 type stuff. You know, Silent Hill 1 and 2, like, you know, the graphics were what they were at the time. And so, like, okay, you understand this was, like, sort of like a scary jump scare because you weren't expecting it. And then they never do it again. And so for the rest of the game, every time you examine something, you have to be like, okay, is it gonna jump scare me this time? Like, when you go to the other bathroom and then there's, like, a bathtub, you're like, can I examine this? Like, when you're in the past, can I examine this? But even not, like, you just never know what's gonna be the next one to jump out at you, and nothing ever does. So it keeps you on, like, the edge of your seat with this anxiety of jump scares that never pays off, which is great for a creepy, like, making you feel ill at ease game. Okay, so I wanted to talk about that when it happened, but obviously I couldn't because it'd be a spoiler for the people who've never done this game to say that is the one and only jump scare. There are no more other ones, because that ruins the aspect of it of you'll think there are other ones, and then there aren't. And we could probably get off this screen, though. Let's have a different screen for our stuff. That's Nintendo, again. Well, I go over the trivia, and then I show you your bonus scene. So, the trivia. First off, I was mentioned... Oh, I suppose you have to hear all that. Well, I'll turn that off. Oh, and I'll put, like, Black Rose for the background music. I mentioned it during Michael's chapter, and I said, oh, I'll talk about this later when we get to the trivia section. There was a chapter that got completely changed because of 9/11. Well, kind of changed because of 9/11. There was supposed to be a different character. You know, and I said in Michael's chapter, I'm like, oh, I'm not sure if that's a case of, like, was he, you know, he was going to be a soldier and he got turned to a firefighter. I wonder if that's also because of 9/11. But for sure... the September 11th attacks, originally you were supposed to have a chapter, and I wrote it down here, so I have the name in front of me. But yeah, when Pious threw that first guy into the Pillar of Flesh, and he's like, you will be the foundation for the pillar, or whatever. That guy was going to have a chapter. His name was Joseph de Molay, and he was a Templar Knight. But after 9/11, they're like, Middle East Templars, like, I don't know. So I don't know if it was Silicon Knight that said we don't want to do this, or if it was Nintendo that said, hey, we don't want you to do this. But someone, somewhere in the design process said, you know what, maybe after the 9/11 stuff in, like, terrorism, ooh, let's not have a Templar in the Middle East, like... And so instead, they changed it to Kareem's chapter. So Kareem was originally not in the game, and they changed it to be like, well, okay, instead of a Templar, it's going to be like, just this guy looking for a treasure for his love, to prove how much he loves her. So there's an interesting fact now, you know. Now, of course, in retrospect, we look at that and we're like, does it really matter? No, but, you know, the times were what they were. Trivia number 2. You think about all the ancients in this game and you're like, okay, well, we've got the 3, you know, we've got Chaturga, Zelatoth, Ulyaoth in their triangle, and we got Mantarok. All right, we've got them all pinned down. But did you know there was a 5th ancient? Maybe some of you guessed it already. You're like, well, how do we know? I mean, besides the fact that it's been confirmed by, I don't know which dev confirmed. I don't know if it was Dyack, Dennis Dyack or not, but one of the devs confirmed that it's not just guesswork, but people were like, wait a minute. Everything is sort of, like, associated by color, right? It's like, red stuff is Chaturga, green stuff is Zelatoth, blue is Ulyaoth, purple is Mantarok. What's yellow? Because if you think about it, it shows up a few times. The easiest one to see, because we just did it, all the damaging floors in the Forbidden City and Enga, they're all yellow. Anthony's curse, whenever he gets hit and turns more and more into a zombie, he has, like, yellow lightning going up and down. Like, when Pious gets transported to the Forbidden City the first time, there's a bunch of, like, yellow lightning that goes shoot and shoots him. And we don't know the name of it, but it was confirmed by one of the devs that, Okay. Well... Okay, we can't have nice things. I'll just run the credits again then when I'm talking about the trivia. But it's been confirmed by one of the devs that yellow is, in fact, the color of a 5th unnamed ancient. And it's interesting to think about, like, what would its domain be? Because, like, okay, like, red, health, physicality, green, mental, blue, magic, and then purple, Mantarok is, you know, like, the god of, like, corpse decay. And granted, it says, like, the ancient Khmer people, like, blessed it as a fertility god, so, like, maybe it's, like, life and death, like, birth decay type of stuff. But, like, what would yellow be exactly? Because it kind of shares a lot with Mantarok. Like, okay, it's got teleportation, maybe, with the rings bringing Pious into the Forbidden City. And that's got damage floor, which hurts you over time. It's got Anthony's curse, turning him into a zombie. So it's like, it's sort of like decay, but that's already Mantarok, so it can't be that. Like, is it distance? Like travel? Because that'd be teleportation, like, okay, it's on, like, the ground, you're running across this field. I don't know. They never said. They never said a name. They didn't say what its domain was. They didn't say anything. They just said that, yes, yellow is a color that represents a 5th ancient. So now you know that. Finally, the last piece of trivia I have before I give you your bonus scene at the end is a sad bit of trivia, really. And you're thinking, like, oh boy, Eternal Darkness, like, that is a pretty cool horror game. I want a sequel to that. Why isn't there a sequel? This seems like a great thing to do a sequel of. It does, and it is never gonna happen. Ever. Unfortunately, for a few reasons. First of all, kind of the way it works is Silicon Knights went bankrupt. You know, they went under, so any straight-up Eternal Darkness 2 went with them. So that's not going to happen. Now, that said, I don't know if it's everyone from Silicon Knights or just, like, Dyack and McCulloch and some of the other head people. Like, they founded a new company called Precursor Games. And Precursor Games tried to do a spiritual sequel called Shadows of the Eternals, which would be a, you know, spiritual successor. Like, you know, you're not going to have, like, Pious or, you know, like, the Roivas family, and you probably couldn't call it, like, you know, Chaturga and Xelatoth, but they were going to do, essentially, Eternal Darkness 2. Just not, you know, with different names, you know. Unfortunately, kind of it works sort of like the way the main game worked, because I think I mentioned at the beginning, I don't remember, but Eternal Darkness was what TV tropes would call a acclaimed flop. Critics loved it. People who play it, like me, love it. It did not sell well. It did not sell well at all. It just, whether it's because it was like a mature game on the Nintendo, or people weren't ready for like Sanity effect type horror games yet, or like this ambient horror rather than like, you know, Resident Evil style, Silent Hill style. It is what it is, but it did not sell well. And so Precursor Games, when they were trying to crowdfund Shadows of the Eternals, and it was going to be a 12-part, yes, episodic game for the Wii U and PC. And it got like 10% of its funding before they're like, okay, this isn't happening, and refunded everyone. So yeah, it's a sort of like Eternal Darkness that people are like, this sounds great, but no one wants to pay for it. And you're like, okay, well, that doesn't sound great. Yeah, well, after that, they're like, you know what? Okay, what if instead of this 12-part episodic thing, what if we just do one game, one sequel game, 10-hour game? Let's crowdfund that. That failed too. So they've tried not once but twice to crowdfund a sequel, and just no one wants to pay for it. No one ever was like, that's a good idea. Which is too bad. Like, I'd throw all my money at an Eternal Darkness sequel, but, you know, it is what it is. Finally, the final nail in the coffin is, you know, well, here, I'll even hit the credits. Basically, they're sort of like the two big names of Eternal Darkness, Silicon Knights stuff. The first, as you're about to see after the in-memory part, Dennis Dyack, one of the, you know, head people here. There he is, producer and director. Okay, that's cool. We're not talking about him right now. We're talking about, I think his name is next. If not, it'll be after this. Okay, so this is the Nintendo stuff. So it should be this one. There we go, Ken McCulloch. And you're like, why does that matter? Ken McCulloch was he's like art director, supervisor, basically one of the co-creators of Eternal Darkness. He got arrested for child pornography. Whoops. Yeah, it turns out, like, while Pious might be, like, the bad guy, it turns out the real bad guy was one of the producers the whole time. So, yeah. Like, crowdsource, fail. Crowdsource, fail. One of the directors arrested for child porn. A sequel isn't happening. Alright, now, all that said, I will give you now the secret thing where, in fact, I can show you here what I was talking about. There. Do you see, like, Alex Roivas, and it has the Ulyaoth symbol. So if you played this save file, started a new one, did Chaturga, did Xel'lotath, here's the bonus scene at the end, and maybe the other fights between the Ancients, if I can find them, right now.
And so it comes to pass. Of the three ancients, there is nothing. The mighty Chaturga has obliterated the insanity of Xel'lotath. The madness of Xel'lotath has overcome the power of Ulyaoth. The boundless Ulyaoth has decimated the power of Chaturga. All at once, separate and simultaneous. For the universe is made of many time streams, many possibilities, all in harmonious synchronicity. Only Mantarok remains, slowly dying. Mantarok, keeper, overseer, warden of ancients, chaos, an entity trapped between the veils of reality and the enchanted stakes that impale its flesh. Unable to rally its guardians, it could rely only on its subtle manipulations of the Roivas family to destroy its enemies. Knowing the nature of the ancients, it used its pawns to play them against each other, resulting in their mutual annihilation. Now it will languish forever, festering in its tomb, plotting.
So there you have it, the secret of the game the whole time, that Mantarok was playing everyone off against each other in a multiverse gambit to get rid of all 3 of its ancients that it was in charge of jailing and, stopping. Yeah, who would have knew? It's, I mean, it makes sense if you're already talking about, like, veils of reality and stuff, and Ulyaoth in another dimension, and Zealotot. Why not have a multiverse going on? But yes, Mantarok had 3 separate Piouses and 3 separate Alexes all fight, simultaneously in 3 different universes, so that in every universe, all at once, every ancient got killed. And that's about all we really know. Again, and this is why having a sequel would have been very nice, because it's like, okay, so what does that mean? Like, Mantarok was plotting this, and it's like both sinister but uplifting, because like Mantarok doesn't seem like a bad dude. I mean, like, sure, it has some human sacrifices now and then, it eats some people, all right, whatever, but like, for the most part, it was okay with stopping an ancient, and then this goes to show it wants to kill all of its rivals, but it's still like bound by the pillars, and it's rotting away forever. Like, it doesn't seem to have aspects of like overthrowing humanity the way the others did. I don't know. But there's the sequel of the game, and yeah, or the sequel of the game, the secret of the game, and why I wish we had a sequel to figure out what was going on. Like, who is this 5th ancient? Was Mantarok doing this as overall helpful, or overall trying to like take the place of them? But I hope you enjoyed Eternal Darkness as much as I do. Again, some of the things don't translate as well from old to new, having like the mute or like the old green volume bar sliding down. It's not the same effect. You watching it on your, tablet after me recording it on, Twitch, putting it on YouTube. But I hope you liked it, at least, even if not as a horror game, at least as a museum piece, to be like, okay, like, this is the thing that started off Sanity horror games as a thing. Just, like, that's why we have all these other games with, like, sanity effects and stuff in them, is thanks to Eternal Darkness. And, I still like it. I still think it's a fun game. Like, as I said, like, I know, like, the sanity effects. I know, like, the story beats, but it's still fun. It's just a fun game to play. It's fun to go back, listen to all the old school voice actors, voice actresses, and be like, oh, I recognize that voice. Oh, I recognize that. Like, it's an all-star cast, fun stuff, great, magic crafting system. So I hope you liked it too. I will be back next week with something. I don't know. We'll find out then. So until then, try to keep your skull nice and pure like Alex here has, and, don't let it be corrupted by ancient magic. And I'd say until then, the darkness is coming, but, thanks to Alex, I think we got some light on the horizon, finally.